Dead Space is a series that seems to be forgotten by EA once they closed down Visceral Games. At least until now. With the announcement of a Dead Space remake, it got me thinking, what changes would I make to the original game for the remake? Before I begin, let me know down in the comment section what changes you would make to the game. Hit that like button, subscribe if you guys are new. Let's get into it.
What the hell was that?
Automatic quarantine must have tripped when the filtration system restarted.
Number 10. With next-gen capabilities, we are able to enjoy games with little to no loading times. The original game would load in between of chapters when you would go on the tram that takes you to different sections of the Ishimura. This would cause an unintentional break in suspense between the different segments in the game. This issue was remedied in the second game, so I would like to see this change happen. Number 9. Suit upgrading. While I think the workbench should stay, the upgrades to your suit should change. Instead of upgrading at workbenches, the upgrade should be linked to each new suit that you find. Because if you're like me, you didn't really upgrade air or stasis for your suit until maybe your 10th playthrough. Number 8. Enemy item drops. Now, maybe this is a pet peeve of mine, but in horror games I prefer enemies to not drop items. If enemies don't drop items, the game feels that much more grounded and gives you that survival feeling. Ever since Resident Evil 4, games seem to want to make all enemies drop items, which eases the difficulty. So because of this, I would like to see this change happen. Number 7. Character interactions. Character interactions were almost always through a glass window. Why does this bother me? Well, because it becomes predictable. That something was going to happen, that there was a glass window between Isaac and the other characters. This worked for the first scene, but quickly got boring by the 5th time it happened. Number 6. Voice acting for Isaac. Now it goes without saying they'll probably have Isaac voice acted in the remake. But I'm putting it here because this is something I really want, especially if they got a good voice actor for Isaac. I'm nominating Nick Apostolides for Isaac, who did the voice of Leon in Resident Evil 2 Remake, because I think he would be a perfect fit for Isaac. Number 5. The controls. These days, most games have somewhat streamlined controls for similar games. For example, it's easy to go from RE2 Remake to Last of Us 2, then to Resident Evil Village. This is because controls such as run are usually placed on the L3 button. Little changes like this improve the quality of life of games. Number 4. Engineering. So, Isaac is an engineer, but it isn't until the second game where you actually see him using his engineering abilities in gameplay with the rewiring puzzles that you see sporadically throughout the second game. I would like to see more puzzles and situations centered around engineering, especially with necromorphs coming at you. Again, similar to how the second game did it. Number 3. The space segments. The space segments were few and far between, and I know this was due to the controls at the time, and I commend them for fixing that in the second game. But seeing as how they are trying to fix the Ishimura, I would love to see more of these segments come into play with, again, Isaac's engineering capabilities.
Things. Is that the crew?
Keep your voice down.
Number 2. Better weapon usage. Dead Space has no shortage of weapon variety, and while that's not a bad thing, the problem lies in the fact that you don't really ever use the other weapons outside of the original plasma cutter, pulse rifle, and maybe the line gun. Giving more uses to the other weapons or making them more effective against certain enemies might make them more appealing to use.
There's also a broken tram blocking the tunnel that needs to be repaired.
And before I get to the number 1 spot, again, be sure to hit that like button, subscribe if you're new, and let me know in the comments if there's anything that I missed that you would like to add to my list.
Personnel files. You fix the tram, and I'll help you find Nicole.
Number 1. Nicole. Nicole is the whole reason Isaac goes to the Ishimura in the first place. And that being his motivator, it's difficult to change that, along with the twist reveal at the end. But for returning players, I would love for them to find a way of surprising us without changing those key story points. I know it's a very tall order, but it's something I feel needs to be done for a remake. And that's it. That's my top 10 list of things I would like to see for Dead Space Remake. Have anything to add? Let me know down in the comment section. And until the next video, remember, make us whole.